Hey, what's up, everybody? Video 44 coming at you with another video. All right, so bad news, Laker fans. We lost Darius Morris. He used to play for the Lakers back in the Kobe days. Kobe, I think he was there for Kobe and Shaq. I believe that was the era. He was only 33 years old when he passed away today. I don't know what the cause was, but I do remember him playing quite a bit. He was pretty good role player off the bench. Backup point guard, I believe it was, shooting guard combination. But he didn't get a lot of playing time, but he played well for us, and we enjoyed having him a part of the team in the early years, man. So I want to send condolences to his loved ones and family, and of course, rest in peace and prayers for him will be coming. But that's really what it is there to say, man. I just wanted to start the video off by saying that Darius Morris. So try to get into a different conversation from theirs, since this is a Laker Talk video. I was having some thoughts about the JJ Redick possibility if the Lakers were to go forward with JJ Redick. There's two sides of the coaching coin that are really prevalent to me, and there's more to it, but just what it is I'm aware of. One side of it is the X's and O's, timeout calling, all of that, having to do with, your timing, your rotations, all of the coaching duties. You can hire a guy who's really good at those things, but then the other side of the coin is people management, interactions with players. How well do guys take to you, particularly during pressured moments or losing streaks? Will they tune you out? Will you handle pressure well with others? In a sense that, can you communicate when the pressure's tight? If there's a miscommunication, can you straighten it out? These are things that I wonder about. And when it comes to the second half of those things, I don't know if JJ is the right personality for this type of job. I don't know the man, obviously, personally, but just watching him on television and seeing him, he seems to be a bit, short-tempered to a degree. Can be a little sarcastic at times. It may rub some people the wrong way. And that's my concern. I think JJ is smart. I think he's the type of guy you want to bring in. If you want to bring in a rookie coach, he's intelligent. He knows what he's talking about. You see it on TV every day, what his philosophy is with basketball and various different things. He's one of the smartest people on television when it comes to basketball. Ron respects him, and we understand that. He doesn't have any coaching experience, so I would wonder about how he handles certain things. I do wonder if he would handle timeouts well, or if he would call the right challenges, or, put the right rotations on the floor. A lot of that stuff I really didn't agree with when it came to Darvin Ham at all. His rotations just were hard to watch. Defensive philosophies, how does he do with that? Does he have, and this isn't just for JJ Redick, this is anybody we bring in, do they have a certain level of self-awareness to say, this isn't my expertise, let me bring a coordinator in for this particular side of the ball? Or, those type of things I think are important in the coach that I want to bring in. Somebody who knows his strengths, knows his weaknesses, and can kind of fill out his roster, his coaching staff, with the right people. And I think that is a very important trait to what we're looking at there. But people management is a big part of this, man. You're going to be dealing with a lot of different types of people in some very pressure circumstances. You got to deal with the media, say the right thing at the right time, not lose your temper, deal with referees not giving you the calls, messing up in situations, can't cause the team to not have you on the floor when it matters because you're getting tossed out with two technicals, things like that. What type of temper do you have when it's pressured? Because when you're talking about the Laker job, this is not like the Charlotte job. This ain't like any other job in the league. There's a few jobs in the league that are much more pressured than others. The Lakers is one of them. With our expectations, with our media, with the fans, with how much the team is talked about and how invested the fans are all over the world. And you got to be right for this job. We can't just bring in a smart person and just say they're smart, so therefore they can do the Laker job. You got to have more attributes than just being intelligent. You got to be able to manage yourself, manage others, manage pressure, manage scrutiny. This is not for somebody who's not there yet in that area. I don't know that. Like I said, I don't know JJ. Who knows? But what I see from him on television, I don't know if he would like the pressure of this job. I really do think he should take an assistant coach job first. Sit next to somebody who's good at that stuff. See how they handle it. See what the nuances is to coaching that maybe aren't prevalent to people who are outside of it. Until you get in that chair, there's certain things I'd imagine you have to know. And if you're not in that chair, you're learning on the fly, it can really hurt the team. Those are the things I want any rookie coach to first experience before sitting on that sideline. Because many a smart person has tried to be a coach. First name that comes to mind is Magic Johnson. He tried to be a coach back in the 90s, and he failed miserably because it ain't enough to be smart. You got to also be able to manage other things. You got to be able to manage people. Look at Steve Nash. He's extremely smart. He knew the game as well as anybody. He was a special player. When he got in that coaching ranks, he failed miserably. He looked like a dummy out there with some of the stuff that was going on his watch. So it's like being smart is not always the end-all, be-all to whether or not you're going to be able to handle pressure as a coach of the Lakers, of any team. But managing personalities, that's a trait. That's not just aptitude. You got to be sharp when it comes to that stuff. And I'm just wondering if we're looking into that as much as we should be when considering the names that we're going to be bringing in. So that's what I want to say, man. It ain't enough to just be super genius, smart, great on tests, no X's and O's. All of that's great. Be an assistant coach and control that aspect of the coaching staff so you can have your expertise and what it is that you're most strong at be what you focus on. Because once you're in control of the entire pie, now you got to not only be able to handle your aspect of what your strengths are, but you got to manage a coaching staff, players, and anything else that has to do with the nuances of being a coach. I don't want to just hire a guy because he's smart. Smart ain't enough. Experience and manageable traits that help you manage circumstances is also part of it. So I want my team to get this right, man. We keep hiring these coaches, giving them these long contracts, and then we want them out of here by 2 years. I don't want the next coach to be in that situation. I want us to give him a contract about 2 years and hopefully hold on to him for about 8. You know what I mean? That's what I hope. But we can't get off to a bad start. This is why, for me, what we got going on, Clippers got eliminated last night. Hopefully Ty Lue will become available. If he becomes available, just, you do your due diligence, interview everybody, but hire him. That's how you do it. You don't want to just hire him outright without doing an interview process, because you never know. The interviews can help you. Maybe you find even better candidate than you like Ty Lue. I don't know. I don't imagine you will, though. If you can get Ty Lue, that's the guy you hire. But you make sure you cast a wide net, and maybe some of them other dudes, maybe you see if Ty Lue will allow them to be a part of his coaching staff. That's what I think should happen there. I understand that they fired Phil Handy. Definitely not happy with that. I understand what could have been the case, which is something that I alluded to when I was referring to him having a conversation with Austin Reeves at the end of Game 4, I believe it was, or the end of Game 3. I don't remember which game it was. But I said, this may have cost you your job. Not necessarily that conversation, but that's what I was insinuating that in my head. Austin Reeves was saying to Phil Handy. And that's kind of how that was. If you saw the video, you know what I'm referring to. But essentially what I was alluding to is the possibility of them firing Phil Handy because he was a part of the coaching staff. Now, I was hopeful they wouldn't do that. But they did. They did that. And it did cross my mind that they may. I don't think he should be without a job for very long. And if the Lakers can bring him back, I don't think they should hesitate in doing that. It's not really about what the coaching staff looks like right now. It's about what the coaching staff looks like when the preseason starts and when Summer League starts, I guess. And I hope I hope that Phil Handy is on that coaching staff when it all shakes out. But the thing that bothers me with the Phil Handy firing is that he was a part of Frank Vogel's coaching staff too, and survived that, and then went on to be a part of Ham's coaching staff. So firing him is not really what they always do in these situations. So you can have holdover development coaches. I don't think there was nothing wrong with his development of these players. I actually think he did a fantastic job with these guys. So for me, bringing back Phil Handy should be of the highest order. Maybe he wants to go on and have a bigger job since he was in the running for head coach for a second, which is also something strange that they would fire somebody that they were considering giving the head coaching job to, unless they weren't actually doing that. That was the smoke. But firing him, I think, should be something that's fixable. You rehire him immediately this season, right away, unless he can get a better job somewhere else, which I hope beyond hope that he doesn't, because I really want him back with the Lakers. A lot of our players like him, particularly the young ones. And so, if anything, if your development coach is someone that the players like a lot, then firing him is hurting you, essentially. So I don't know what the Lakers want to do there, but I do hope that they fix that problem, and I hope they're not doing it for petty reasons, like, oh, y'all wanted him to be your coach. Okay, cool. Well, we had to fire Darvin Ham, so we're gonna fire him. Cutting off your nose, spite your face, man. It's not. That doesn't help you. You bring Phil Handy back, and I think you'll be pleased that he will provide a certain bridge for the guys that were here last year or this year to the coach that will be here next. You have that bridge. I really believe that. So that's what I want to say there, man. I just hope they rehire Phil Handy right away. Firing him seems stupid to me. Very. But nevertheless, yeah, man. It looks to me that they did that. My own little speculation is they did that because they wanted to give the next coach the full opportunity to hire his own coaching staff. And the reason why is because they told Ty Lue back when they were lowballing him that they wanted to have his coaching staff picked by them. They wanted to do the picking. And that's a stupid reason to get rid of such a fantastic development coach, to be honest with you. That's a stupid reason. Stop. And people have criticized the Laker organization for doing this, and I'm going to say it too. Stop overcorrecting, fam. You don't have to overcorrect. Find balance in what you're doing. If the only person I want to carry over from the coaching staff is Phil Handy, then I keep Phil Handy and let him pick the rest of the coaching staff. And if this is Ty Lue, unless there's something I don't know, he's not going to have a problem with Phil Handy being a development coach. He's not. Phil Handy's one of the best in the business, probably the most famous development coach in basketball. So there has to be something wrong there between them, in my opinion, in order for him not to want Phil Handy. He'll probably want Phil Handy. And if you fired him and Phil Handy finds another job with Phoenix or something like that, he'll probably be looking at you like, why the hell did you fire him? For my benefit? If I'm Ty Lue, unless there's a problem there between me and him, I don't need you doing that. If anything, I need you to keep that guy here because he's going to help me connect to these young players that I don't know that were on this team last year. So overcorrecting is one of the major problems that people have criticized the Los Angeles Lakers front office and coaching staff at times for doing. And I would love for them to identify where they're doing that and stopping it. And in this situation, I believe that may be what's going on there. We did so much to try to make him uncomfortable, Ty Lue, last time. So let's make sure we get rid of everything and then roll out the red carpet. And it's very overcorrecty and not very sharp of a decision if that's what they're doing. Doesn't seem sharp to me. It almost feels as it feels the same way in regards to JJ Redick being on our coaching list. It almost looks that same way. It's like, okay, that's Bron's guy. We want to keep Bron. Bron, we're open to draft your son. We'll give you all the money in the world, and we'll bring in your buddy JJ as our coach. Like, it's like, that's real smooth for you guys. Smooth brain. That doesn't seem smart. You want to get the right coach for your situation. You don't want to just completely press your face into LeBron James behind. You know what I'm saying? It's not that serious, fam. It's not going to provide you respect. He's not going to want to be in a situation where you'll do bad things on his behalf. That's not smart. If Bron is thinking clearly, he wants to be a part of a smart organization. A smart organization is not going to tell LeBron James that they're going to do anything and everything to keep him, because some of the things that may be asked of them are bad for them, thus leaving him in a situation to be blamed for the bad decisions. Okay? Okay, like, let's be honest. As everything goes wrong with all these different decisions, the first thing people are going to say is, well, LeBron James is why all this is happening. It's like, no, if you guys make decisions that we can look at you for being responsible for, then it takes some of the pressure off LeBron in regards to the blame. And I think that's a big component in all of this, along with others components that matter in regards to this type of thing. But, you know, it feeds the narrative of people are always trying to pass the blame. It's a very serious narrative, and it holds some weight, unfortunately. So, you know, I think the Los Angeles Lakers front office is, you know, they're going to have to fix some of what we're seeing out here. You can't just be about kissing LeBron James behind. That can't be what this is all about. If that's what it's all about, you're going to sell your soul to the king. Believe me, man, he's not going to respect you for it. He's not going to win for it. That's not going to get you a championship with him. And ultimately, it's going to fall and crash and burn, man. So, you know, the Lakers, they don't seem to know what they're doing. And that's why myself and many others who talk about this team have suggested that we just hire a president. Because if you don't know what to do, then hiring someone who does is probably the best decision for the organization. This type of stuff, let's get LeBron's homie, his new friend, JJ Redick, as my head coach when he doesn't have any coaching experience, just so we can keep Bron happy, is a decision that should not necessarily even be considered at all. And you're setting JJ Redick up for failure. You're setting LeBron James up for failure and to be blamed. And you're ultimately setting up these young players to have a really strange, awkward situation in place, because it's going to get off to the wrong foot, the wrong start in regards to why are all of we here? Why are all of the coaches here? What is it that our team is trying to accomplish? It just gets you off to a bad start. And it starts with the front office not knowing what to do. So they just sell their soul to LeBron James and hope for the best. And then when it all goes bad, blame him. It's time to end the blame game. If you really want this free agency and this offseason rather to go off to a good start, it's time to start doing things differently. And the only way you're going to be able to do things differently is if you bring in somebody else to help you do it. And that's the problem. As long as it's the same brains thinking up what to do every year, they're always going to have the same traits. Okay, let's figure out how we can do it this way. And you keep making mistakes. And keep making mistakes, man. It ain't our fault. It's somebody else's fault. Let's protect ourselves, so we do the things that make it so that we can blame other people. That narrative is out there for a reason. The media didn't just come up with that. Lakers are doing things in the front office that looks that way. And that's why I want us to hire a president. I really do. I think the next move after firing Darvin Ham was to be diligent in hiring a president, and then having ourselves delegate different people to do the jobs necessary, instead of having the same brain trust making decisions every year that doesn't lead to anything but us getting ousted by the Denver Nuggets. You know, this is what we said at the beginning of last year. When you have the same people making the same decisions, you're going to have the same results, man. And at the end of the day, that's what it really comes down to. And Genie Bus, we can hire coaches and then get mad at them for being stubborn. But if our front office is going to continue to be stubborn about how they operate, then that's really where the problem starts. You can give a rookie coach a bad situation. He can fail, and then you can fire him. Or you can start doing things the right way at the top, hand a coach a good situation, and then see if he handles a good situation the right way. And then you can fire him if he doesn't, or promote him if he does. But if what you give him is incomplete in regards to the roster, all the pressure that comes from trying to make up for that trickles down to failure, man. And that's really what we've been seeing with the last couple coaches. I don't doubt those coaches aren't great, but I don't doubt they weren't handed the best stuff either. And it started with that brain trust at the top, doing things their way, it not being the right way, and then everything falling apart from there, man. It's got to stop. And eventually, as I've been saying in my videos for the last several days, they're going to have to reset so that everything that they have can actually be buildable. The foundation and all that other stuff can actually allow for good building, man. We know that whoever is going to take on this situation is not going to have enough. We know that. Whoever, JJ Redick, whoever the next coach will be, Ty Lue, if you want to hire Budenholzer, whoever that is, they're not inheriting anything that is actually good enough to win the championship. Even if, especially if you mortgage everything for a superstar. We know how that looks. Phoenix, Brooklyn, we know how that looks, man. It's not going to be a surprise when we get ousted in the first round or the second round. It's not going to be surprising. So rather than going down that path that looks that way, I really genuinely think we need to start building ourselves that foundation and start valuing our picks a bit more so than we value this tenure with LeBron and AD. Value your picks so you can start handing coaches good, healthy rosters in future seasons, man. You gotta sacrifice something, Lakers. And if you don't have the brain trust at the very top that is wise enough to make the sooner losses come for the later championship glory, then you're going to keep on having these type of seasons where it's going to always reflect poorly upon the brain trust because they keep on doing things the same way, coming up with the same results with half of what they need to build a champion. It is what it is, and that's why people blame you. They blame you, or you're trying to pass the blame because you don't have enough. But it's not that you can't get enough, it's that you're unwilling to sacrifice so that you have it. And we're starting to develop the wrong habits. And so that's really what I have to say in regards to the front office. I really do want them to hire a president. I think that's the best path for them, so that president can see what it is that I'm seeing right now and it put it in motion and have a 5-year plan that can get us back where we need to go. Because our front office, the Ramby, Genie, and the crew, they don't have that plan right now, man. It's not there. You can see it with the hints that they're putting out there, what they want to do. Firing Phil Handy gave me that hint. Putting JJ Redick on the bill of players, coaches that they want, kind of shows me that they don't have the right stuff in their heads, man. It's sort of like Darvin Ham when he was trying to figure out those lineups early in the season when he was putting all these power forwards on the floor and sitting our guards. He's searching for answers that he can't come up with. You need someone else to come in to help us get those answers because he didn't have them. And as he's searching, he's doing stuff that's not getting him anywhere closer. That's how I feel about the front office. They're a reflection of that coach that they hired and just fired. They're a reflection of him. They're moving the way he moves. We don't have the answers. Where we going? I don't know. Let's fire them. Let's do what Braun wants to do. Let's give Braun the whole thing. It's not going to work. Oh, well, let's get a superstar. You don't have the answers. You don't have the answers. They're not in that room. And so that's what I want to say to Jeanie Buss. You could trust people all the way to the end. And when you find that it didn't work, you could regret all that took place. Or you could start seeing it going down that path and then nipping that in the bud and getting back on the right path and then walking the right way so you don't have to have so many regrets going forward. Mistakes have already been made. We don't have to keep going forward with that type of path and then let it get so damn bad. You know what I mean? But if you only listen to 4 people, and those 4 people are the same people you've been listening to for the last 4 or 5 years who've been digging you further and further into a hole, trying to please LeBron James or whatever the heck you're trying to do, mortgage the future because he wants you to get better. But he understands that he wants to win. We need to understand how to make it so that it's possible. And if it's not possible, then to let him know that and stop trying to mortgage everything to no avail any dang way. You see what I'm saying? You're not getting anywhere this way. So that's really what it comes down to. Players want to win, but front offices and presidents and GMs have to provide the right team so that it's possible. And if they can't, for whatever reason, being able to identify that is a big part of the job. And if you don't have the right people in place who can identify that problem, they're going to continue to build crap that does not work, send it out there to fail, and then look stupid when it doesn't. I'm tired of it. As a Laker fan, it's unnecessary because I know what we need to do. I know we need to hire ourselves a president, and he needs to put forth the plan of resetting our situation so that we can build what it is we need to build properly based on the CBA that's in place. That makes it difficult to do what it is that this front office and these four horsemen, whoever's in that room, is trying to do. It is what it is. And if people truly want to succeed, then they'll start doing things the right way instead of doing it like stubborn coaches and wanting to win their way. Look at 5-6 years in a row, we keep sitting in the same room with these same four people, coming up with the same ways of doing things and never getting where we want to go. Never getting where we want to go. Another season of this, never getting where we want to go. You still listen to the same four people? Like, it gets to a point where it's like, yo, man, nah, we don't have those answers in this room. So if we're serious about succeeding, why sit here and waste our time failing when we can just bring somebody in together who can help us succeed, who could take this responsibility from us and we can benefit off their expertise? And that's all that needs to happen now. I'm hiring Bob Myers, or I'm trying to get Masai Ujiri out of Toronto, or I'm doing something of that nature, man. One of them big wigs, somebody like that, who can come in, who knows what needs to happen, who's already done it once or twice, and say, look, this is where the Lakers are at. This is where they need to go. Let's clear this out. Let's clear this out. Let's move this around. Let's move that piece. Let's push this around. Let's pull that over. Get that over there, and just work the plan. And then 6 years from now, when the seeds that we've planted have grown into a beautiful garden, we can sit back and clap together, all four of us, because we made the collective decision to bring in somebody who could do what it is we cannot. You understand what I'm saying? That's what the Lakers need to do. Instead of looking at each other, what do we do now? No, you don't do nothing now. You hire somebody who knows what they're doing so you can watch them do what it is you're not able to, but you got to be able to think that way. You got to be smart enough to think that way. You got to be tired of this enough, the failing, to think that way. And it seems to me that the Lakers still got 2 or 3 more years of failing before they come to the conclusion that needs to happen. And I don't want to go through that. As a fan, I'm much more ready to do things the right way. You understand what I'm saying? I've already seen enough. I don't want to go to Trae Young route. That's not a good plan. A good president's not going to do that when you have the asset class we have. When you only have 3 picks, you're not going big star hunting. This ain't the year to do it. This ain't the year to make promises to LeBron James. This ain't year 1 of LeBron James. You didn't just inherit him. You had him for 6 years and you failed with him. And now you're going to continue to do the things that failed with him still on board. No. Thank you, LeBron James. We love you, brother. If you're not going to take a significant pay cut, we're pleased with your tenure here, but we can't afford you, brother. Thank you. That's the only thing a real president is going to say, because I got to be able to build something that's going to allow me to have a superstar like him another day. Instead of continue to dig myself into a hole, try to keep him happy when I know I don't have enough to do so. I don't have enough to do so. That's what I've been trying to get said here. You don't have enough to make him happy. You could promise him the world. If you can't deliver, you ain't going to be able to. You know, it ain't going to work. So that's where the Lakers are, man. That's what the problem is. You got people who are failing to identify that they cannot deliver, making promises they cannot keep. And if I'm LeBron James, I'm going to make that real easy on them because I'm getting the hell out of here. I'm not going to sit around for y'all to figure out how to fail a different way or how to revisit a past mistake that didn't work the other day. No, I'm not going to ask you to bring me a superstar because I know you can't afford to. I'm going to go somewhere where I have one, where I can. But see, people don't want to do that. They don't want to leave the land. They don't want to leave LA. They don't want, stuff like that. So we end up failing together. And then you have them long faces at the end of the season. And you don't want to talk to the media because it failed. It failed now. This is when it started failing, not at the end of the game when you lost. No, it failed when you were putting this thing together. Not identifying that you didn't have all the sticks and stones to build your home. You didn't have the proper foundation and none of that. You didn't identify that. So you're signing up for the headaches for later. So when it's time to talk to the media, answer. You know, don't feel so frustrated because you already know that's coming. I'm telling you it's coming right now because you didn't do things the right way from the beginning. The team that's going to win the championship either already has that stuff in place or is doing those things correctly right now. Fix their home. We're not going to keep on building on bad foundations. So that's really what it is, man. I want the Lakers to hire a president. I want that president to be really good at rebuilding. I want them to be able to do a lot with a little, identify what the Lakers asset class is, and make smart decisions with that asset class. Not stupid ones that are going to bring us a superstar, but smart ones that are going to make us healthy as a franchise, man. Picks, equity, good players, good scouting, good development coaches, strong G League, which we already have. That's what you need, man. Those are the things that you need. Not trying to make some superstar happy when you don't have that crap. You minused too much when you did that Russell Westbrook thing, period. You took away more than you could afford to take away, and now you're left with that to build from here. You can't get good enough. You cannot get good enough. Just like the Chicago Bulls with the contracts that they have on injured players, LaVine, Ball, they can't get good enough because of those contracts, and they can't get rid of those contracts and nobody want them. You have to reset. The Lakers need to reset. The Bulls need to reset. The Suns need to reset. It's a lot of teams out there that need to reset. And they don't need to do what Brooklyn did by saying they don't want any picks because you're going to be in no man's land so long as you think that way. You need the picks. You need them. And until you hire a president that absolutely believes that, you're going to keep on doing this superstar crap and you're going to keep on falling flat on your head, and it's going to continue to make it so that Laker fans are tired of you. People want the front office removed. People want to fire coaches and all the different stuff that comes from not being good enough. It's your future, Lakers. It's your future, man. So I'm trying to nip all that in the bud. I see where it's going. I've seen where it's been. It ain't no good. It ain't no good, man. So that's really what it is, man. You can hire the right coach, but if you don't give him the right roster, he's not going to be in a good space. And if you're giving him 3 bodies to work with that are really good and the rest of those guys play like me, you're going to suck, man. And then you don't want to fire him. You want to fire this person. You want to fire the GM. None of that stuff works. Why? Because you need it to reset so that you can build properly. And then you can be pleased with your GM, pleased with your coaches, pleased with players, pleased with everybody else, pleased with the media and how they talk about you, pleased with the fans and how they show up, pleased with every damn thing when you plant the proper seeds to assure that you can grow a foundation in a garden necessary to be pleased with, man. Until you do that, you just sign up for failure and sign up for every frustrating headache that comes with that. So I hope I've convinced somebody to reset, but do it not with the 4 people that's in the room, but with somebody that you know you hire to do that. And if you're not willing to do that, then you're going to keep failing. If you're not willing to do that, then you're going to find out the hard way what it is I just said, and it's going to get harder to reset, and it's going to take longer to reset, and you're going to lose more and more of everything that you most appreciate. Fans, money, all that. You lose more of it when you keep being stubborn about doing things the right way. So that's what I got to say, man. I hope people get it. I doubt they'll do it. They're too busy trying to make it work amongst themselves. But to collectively, all 4 of y'all need to come together and say Bob Myers is the guy, and we're going to get out the way and let him do the job. And if you're not strong enough to do that, then you're going to put yourself through something that you're not going to be strong enough to deal with. And that's real failure, man. Real failure. So that's what I got to say, man. Hope the Lakers do that. That's what I want the Lakers to do. As a fan, that's literally it. I'm not asking you to do nothing else. Just hire a foundational president and let him put in place a 5 to 7 year plan that'll get us in a position to be able to develop our entire floor, and then we can build. Otherwise, you're making promises you can't keep and signing up for failure. So that's what I gotta say, man. Rest in peace to Darius Morris. Very sorry he lost his life, man. BDF 44. I thank you all for watching. I'm out.